Hi and hello everyone. This is our week 4 press/community conference. I'm joined by both Adrian and Svenskeren,
Hi.
live from Berlin. I am live from Los Angeles. Wow, we are so global. But this is not about where we are. This is about the league. Gentlemen, Adrian.
Yes.
We are 0-6. What will we do to change that in week 4?
All right. So we try, like the last games, we tried a lot of different things and a lot of different styles and see what fit us, and nothing so far worked. So this week, I think we have some good champions prepared and some comfortable picks. So it should be much better this week. Fingers crossed.
So preparation has been good. Sven, how is the mood inside the team? I can imagine with 0-6, there's pressure. You read the comments. You know that everybody is expecting us to win. How do you cope with the pressure that's on your shoulders?
I think since we don't have that many personality issues, even though we are 0-6, because we are pretty good friends still, I would say. So can't really feel it that much that we're 0-6.
Okay. The week isn't easy. The first match we will play is against Unicorns of Love. They're set in the middle of the tableau. We're at the very bottom. How likely is it that we can make this jump, elevating to win over Unicorns of Love? Do you see yourselves in a crisis, or do you see yourselves, no, actually we slipped in the first 3 weeks, but now we will show what we are really made of?
Your turn. I never played Unicorns, so
yeah. I think we can definitely win. Like we should against Fnatic and stuff, that we could still put up like a pretty good fight. So I don't think it looks that dark yet. Like if we go 0-2 this week, then of course it looks really dark, but I think we can still win.
I mean, yeah, same opinion for me.
What he said?
What? Sorry?
What he said?
Oh yeah, exactly. Like I think if we go to this week, it's looking bad, but yeah, I don't think we will.
Okay. How did Coach Lucas prepare you guys for this match? Any special things you practiced, or was it business as usual? And we can start with you, Adrian, because Sven
okay.
gave us a lengthy.
I mean, this week he didn't do too much for us. We were kind of like finding our own playstyle ourselves, because he couldn't help us with that, I think. So we just kind of tried ourselves to find a good playstyle, and yeah, I think it worked to like go a bit away from the meta and just play what we are strong at.
What can we expect from you guys tonight and tomorrow? Will we see the picks and bans like we see them with most of the top 4 teams in the league? Or will you go for something special? Is there something that we haven't seen champion-wise that you can tell us about, or can tell us about, but still make us want to know?
What can we expect?
Expect like in what way? Like you were lagging a bit, so I didn't understand.
Is there new champions? Is the game changing the way we see SK play the game, or will we see the usual game?
Yeah, so I think the latest patches were good for us, for our playstyle. So I think the champions that become meta are good for us now, and so you can expect like better games from us, I would say.
So the champion pool has changed a bit.
Yeah.
Meta-wise.
Yeah, like the tank junglers got nerfed, and Echo came into the game, which is really good, and some other AD carries got buffed, and we found a good support now that we can play pretty much in every matchup. So yeah, we have better champion pools now, I would say.
Okay. Sven, what has changed in the game compared to last split? I mean, it doesn't seem like you connected too much with the lanes in the early game. Like, there was way more presence, way more pressure from you in the spring split and last year than we saw in the first 6 games. What has changed in the game that this isn't clicking as it did 1.5 years in the past?
I think a lot of it has to do with like Cinderhook being a really dominant item, because it put less pressure on the early game junglers, or like more pressure on the early game junglers if you want to play those, because you have to do a lot more, because the Cinderhook jungler will just outscale you. And last split, like this split, I mean, we have to like adapt to playing together. Like, we have a new playstyle than last split. So yeah, I think that's why we're like losing a lot.
Okay, what do you make of a team like Origin, who they just entered the league and find themselves on the very top of the tableau together with Fnatic and play against them this week, which is considered the match of the week? How do you judge them? Is that a short-term success? Will they succeed long-term?
I mean, yeah, I mean, the meta fits them right now really well. They're motivated. They have a new like AD carry that's really good as well. So everything favors them at the moment, and if they can keep like staying motivated and dedicated, then they can stay on top, of course.
Okay, I have to apologize for the bad quality. I can read it in the chat. Indeed, I am in LA. I am in my hotel. The internet actually is good, but somehow it doesn't translate to my cam here, and I'm lagging obviously because there's a couple of hours of time difference between me and the boys in Berlin and Cologne, where we stream from. So sorry about that, but that's just a side note. In terms of AD carry, which is an interesting topic, this week we read that we are, percentage-wise, we are not giving the average amount of damage through our AD carry compared to other teams. Why do you think, Adrian, this is the case? People are, of course, concerned. You had a break, that you are not on top of your game already. Is that the case, or are there other reasons for that?
I mean, it's really hard. Like in the games we played, we were always like behind. So most of the fights we fought, like we had to run away, and when you run away, you just can't do as much damage as when you like engage them and just right-click them, you know. So I think that's a big part of the reason, because if you lose like every game, of course you're gonna have less damage than the other average AD carry has, because you're just always kiting, and when you kite, you just don't do as much damage. So I think that's like a reason for it, yeah.
Okay, I think that explains it. So I think we can keep this rather short today, unless, of course, there are questions incoming. I don't see any in chat, and I don't see any in Twitter. You're welcome to ask your questions now. I think I try to lead the guys through a set of questions, so you have answers to what's going on with the team at the moment. We all understand that the team is calm, and the team is not in a hysteric mode or whatsoever because of the 0-6. Well, I mean, I can read the question, but I think we touched it already. Well, Sven, how do you deal with the current situation, and how will you react if your losing streak continues?
It'll be pretty sad if our losing streak continues. I think everyone will lose hope, and it's just going to be really bad if we lose again.
Yeah, I think we touched that before already.
I mean, we were like a top 3 team for the past 1.5 years, so, or like last split they were without me as well, so it's really hard to like be suddenly 10th place. So if it keeps going like this, it's hard to like be satisfied with like a 6th place or 7th place or whatever.
But in terms of the goals for the team, for you personally, I know that when we talked, Adrian, about you coming back, you said like you wanted the tech to go to Worlds. Is that really still in your head, or are you saying no? Right now, it's from match to match, and we want to make sure that we collect Ws. And if Worlds is something we achieved at the end of the season, then so be it. But right now, it's just from game to game.
Yeah, I think our goal shifted. Right now, it's more like reach the playoffs so that we can prepare hardcore for the playoffs, because Worlds right now is like out of the question. So we should just get in some wins and then look to get into the playoffs with a decent score. That's like the main goal.
Sven, we are opening the floor to dumb questions now. We are aware of this, but we are very professional, and so we treat these questions very professional. So tell me, how often do you eat at McDonald's?
We actually don't eat at McDonald's because there's no McDonald's close, which is pretty good for us, I think.
Yeah.
Thanks for this bold statement. It's good for the community to know.
Yeah.
Talking about Worlds, will you go to Worlds even if you don't qualify, just to be there to feel the atmosphere?
Well, since it's in Europe this time, I will definitely be at the finals if we don't qualify. Yeah. But let's not assume that we don't just yet.
Not yet.
Yeah. So Sven, are you trying to find your own kind of meta and play style, or are you going with more standard thing this week?
I think we tried too much as a team to like do what everyone else was doing, and it didn't really fit us. So I think we kind of going back to what we feel strong as like individuals.
Okay. Let's see. Nothing on Twitter. That's good too. Some other pros stated that Sven can easily be the best jungler in Europe, but he lacks motivation. Direct answer, Sven.
What?
This.
Do you lack motivation? You could easily be the best jungler in Europe. Do you lack motivation? That's the question.
I'm not sure if I lack motivation, but it probably went downhill ever since we started losing so much. I think everyone lost more and more motivation, I would say. But as of right now, I don't think I lack motivation.
Also directed to Sven, because you're more the veteran. Do you feel if the team goes on 2, that roster changes will become a topic for the team?
I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, I'll jump in and help Sven at this point. It's you try to be a team at the same time. You should give answers to a question that relates to what happens if you cannot answer these questions. The next 2 games will kind of decide how the team glues and sticks together, and they will make these decisions while playing. Actually, it's nothing they can set their mind on right now. I guess that explains it better. It's not a question the players can address at this moment. If in case you qualify for Worlds, do you think having a home crowd in Europe is a factor?
I mean, we never had that much crowd support, so I don't think so. But it will feel good to play in like a European country. Yeah, I think so. I always actually I don't mind where I play. I like it to play in like US or Asia as well. So I don't think playing in Europe is too much of a difference.
would be more funny if it was in another country because you could like travel.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
in Europe, it feels like we're just gonna stay here in Berlin, like prepare for it.
Yeah,
Feels less of like Worlds.
yeah. But I mean, if we like are one of the 3 EU teams, we will probably get a lot of like cheers and stuff. So it will still be really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, general question, and both of you can answer. If you're down because of losing in solo queue, how can you motivate yourself to continue to play? How do you guys do it?
I mean, I always think that if I'm like on a losing streak, then eventually it will stop. You're not gonna have a 30-game losing spree. So just like after some games, just take a break and then just keep playing. And what you can also do is like you can just set goals for yourself. So even if you lose, you can like achieve a small goal for yourself that you can then be like happy about that you did something even in a game you lost. So that way you can keep playing.
Sven, solo queue monster. How do you motivate? Oh, you never have losing streaks, do you?
Yeah. Never had this problem before. I usually just go like off roll or something if I feel like I'm tilt. And I
Is
let myself
Echo-
get carried.
Yeah, that's a good option too.
You duo queue with Freddy if it gets worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I can let Freddy.
Freddy's Bard is notorious.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Gotcha. Sven, is Echo a jungler option?
You saw it being played in like last week by Kiki's. Was it Kiki's? No, Airwax.
Yeah, it was
Airwax, and
Airwax.
like in NALCS it was played as well. It seems pretty nice.
When the team is behind in a game, you guys seem really down on the players' camps, and the fans don't see you talk that much. Is that the case? And who's usually the one to lift the team spirits up?
I think we don't talk that much in general, so yeah. And also, even if we lose, we still talk about like, can we fight for Dragon, can we fight for Nash or whatever. But I think it's not that bad. We don't lose like hope or something. But lately, I mean, if you're 0-6 and then you lose the early game as well, you kind of know it's like really hard to come back because it's like, I don't know. You know that this is how you lost 6 games before, so if it happens again, it weighs on your mentality. So, but we still try hard to like stay positive, either way.
The question directed to you, Adrian. How's your relationship with Fox right now? When you joined SK, you said you haven't talked to him much.
Well, when I joined SK, I didn't talk to anyone from the team because I was in Cologne at the time. So right now, I think it's good. Like I definitely have like better friends in the team, but I think we're still on good terms. So it's like, I mean, the whole team is like friends together. So there's no one that hates each other, I think.
Good to hear. Sven, you should play more Lee Sin, or is he out of meta?
I think he's actually coming more into the meta because Gragas and Sujani got like nerfed, and Rek'Sai got nerfed as well. So Rek'Sai and Gragas is like the number 1, but after that, and those are usually banned anyway. So after those are out, you can play Lee Sin and Evelyn and stuff like that. So yeah, I will play more Lee Sin if it fits.
A question directed to you again from a fan, massive fan actually. How did you get so good? Any advice on budding junglers to up their strategic play in solo queue? Any advice?
I don't know how you butt up jungle. I don't know, but play more, watch streams, watch replays.
So do you analyze
Korea, whatever.
do you analyze other junglers a lot, other playstyles a lot, and try to get this into your playstyle?
Not really. I usually watch NALCS and EU LCS anyways and see if they do something special. I would like try that in solo queue or something, but not really that much special stuff. Like I'm used to it anyways. But I use like LoL Pro builds as well a lot if I'm gonna try and like learn a new champion to see what everyone else is doing on it and like copy that.
Okay. Any opinion on Riven? When will we see her in EU LCS? Any comments on her?
Never.
When Shook is back. When Shook is back, then he will play her. But yeah, she's just too much of a one-trick champion. I think if he lane swap, she's really easy to shut down. So not an LCS, I don't think.
All right. The questions start getting silly. That's usually the point when we say we wrap it up. The next question was, are you guys still aiming for Worlds? No, we're not. We had this question before. We're aiming to get out of the relegation zone game by game, and we're trying to win our way up into a possible playoff slot and take it from there. But that's like the overall goal we have, not to be on a direct relegation slot. Let's read. Yeah, this question comes up more often. It's an interesting one. With Lucas, we have somebody who's experienced with the team and who comes from a sports psychologist background. His knowledge of the game is there, but it's obviously not as deep as other coaches do have the knowledge. Is that something that bothers you, or is his skill set, especially on the coming as a sports psychologist and knowing you guys inside out, is that more important?
I don't know what to say. As we're like 06, I don't really know what to blame because nothing really works for us right now. So I don't think we can really blame Lucas for it or something like that.
Okay. Any opinion from you, Adrian? I mean, you've been working with Lucas and Incarnation as a analyst kind of coach, but more game knowledge. That's for sure. You can discuss the difference between having somebody with deep knowledge around with Lucas or just Lucas.
I mean, we have, apart from Lucas, we also have Danush, who's like our analyst, and I think he's much more knowledgeable with in-game stuff than Lucas is. So I think Lucas helps us the most with like out-of-game stuff, and then we have Danush, our analyst, for like in-game stuff, and he's really helpful as well. So it's a good combo, I think.
Okay. Question that was repeated now, and we will touch base with it. It's of course the comparison between you and Forgiven, Adrian. So first you, and then Sven. What is the impact? What's the difference that you have on the team compared to Forgiven in terms of play style? What freedoms, what different arguments you bring to the team with the way you play the game compared to what Forgiven did in last season? And then Sven, the same question to you.
I think I definitely play a less aggressive bot lane style, that's for sure, but I think I bring a lot of strategic knowledge to the team and help with like rotations and lane swaps or whatever. And then also in the first 3 weeks I don't know, it was a bit like less confidence that I had, so I didn't play to like my full strength. So this week and like the next weeks I will try to play like more my style, which is also like more aggressive. So yeah.
The difference between Candy and Forgiven is like Forgiven wouldn't really think about the overall game, like what's going on in top lane and like if we can snowball top lane or mid lane and stuff like that. He would always wanting to win his lane like the hardest he could and wouldn't really care about anything else than that. And Candy is like more open to like the other side of the map than bot lane. It's both strengths and weaknesses, I think.
And there's a follow-up that I will address. It's regarding Summoning Insight episode 49, where Monty and Thorin discussing Forgiven leaving, and Thorin saying that it shouldn't affect us that much, basically. The point is that if you look at SK and the losing streak, then you have to start in the playoffs of Spring Split, actually. Because this is when we started losing games badly. Even in the last matches of the season, we weren't performing as dominant as in the first 8 matches. So there is a disconnect in the team that goes into the era where Forgiven was with us. What people tend to forget is that we didn't win last split because of Forgiven. Actually, the team lost the #1 seed in the playoffs, finishing 4th, which is the worst result you can get if you go in as the #1 seed. So that clearly tells you that something was wrong even when Forgiven was there. So what I'm trying to say is the huge separation that the community tries to make between there's the time frame with Forgiven and the time frame with CandyPanda. Actually, the losing game streak started in the Spring Split already. The downfall of the team started there. It didn't start with CandyPanda coming. It started before. So all these comparisons and all these trying to separate Candy and Forgiven and trying to say this is the reason for that, it doesn't lead us anywhere. That's just our take on that. And if you follow the scene more closely, if you follow the results more closely, and if you analyze them, then you will find that same result. Oh, nice. Somebody's talking about my face and how unfriendly I am. Yeah, super sorry, man. Super sorry. I'm a real harsh and unfriendly person, you know, and the players, I mean, again, how unfriendly is SK's manager?
Yeah, definitely unbearable. Like, it's terrible, actually. Yeah, I totally agree.
Sven, do you have the balls to answer that question, or? we don't even ignore that question. It wasn't even a question.
We
Anyway.
don't talk about that here. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
I
Too
think
scared to answer that
he's a
question.
super cool guy.
Yeah, super cool guy. Yeah.
And talking of good questions, Sven, you are known for this department in SK. Can Fox get a haircut?
Yeah. I think you should ask Fox that. I'm not really his haircutter. Yeah, stylist. And I don't really give a shit if he has long hair or not, so.
Watch it.
Sorry, I don't really give a
damn.
Give a damn.
It's not
Ryan
important. That's what we were trying to say. It's not important. Looks are not important.
Yeah. It's what's on the inside that matters.
All right. 30 minutes into this interview, it's getting silly. It's getting, the sun is coming up here in California, so time to wrap it up. Thanks for taking the time, guys. I know the shuttle will pick you up anytime soon. Good luck in the studios tonight and tomorrow in your 2 upcoming matches. Hopefully, we will see the first W. I can reveal that I dreamt about this night. So maybe I jinxed it now. Sorry.
Damn.
And for that, I'll leave it up to you fans to cheer us up. We need your support. And bye from Los Angeles. Bye from Berlin. Bye from Cologne. See you next week, everyone.
See ya.